Good morning, everybody. We need to pray for the people of Florida. A lot of folks from the channel are from Florida. Pray for these people. Florida is under attack. I've got some footage pulled up from a YouTube channel called Ryan Hall, and he does the weather, and he is a mega channel. He sometimes has up to 100,000 people watching his live streams. Well deserved for the kind of work that he does. He has an entire team of people working on his channel, storm chasers, all linked into the channel. Let's take a look at some of this footage from Horseshoe Beach in Florida. Now, he calls this structure a shed, but it actually kind of looks like a carport. Look at what happens to this carport. When you measure the height of this carport along with where the ocean level was, it's a 15-foot rise in sea level, a 15-foot wall of water.
This is what it looked like just moments ago, really, when we started the stream. So quite the difference there. And the water is still coming up. It looks to me like Hurricane Adalia has made landfall, if I'm just looking at this correctly. Hurricane Adalia has almost certainly made landfall now as a major Category 3 hurricane. There's the roof right there in front of us. Holy crap. Oh, did we lose our... Adalia has almost certainly made landfall now as a major Category 3 hurricane. There's the roof right there in front of us. Holy crap. Oh, did we lose our shed? Oh no. Okay, Horseshoe Beach, the shed is gone. It's officially gone. Is that there's the roof right there in front of us. Holy crap. The fact that this camera is still working is unbelievable.
So check out Ryan Hall, y'all. Really good YouTube channel. It's probably where most people are going to be watching the hurricane. It just made landfall within the last hour. That was Horseshoe Beach. You just saw the before and after pictures of what appeared to be some kind of a carport or a shed. It lasted all the way up until the water started to overtake the roof of the shed, which was sitting at probably 9 or 10 feet off the ground. And as soon as it finally overtook the shed, it tore it to pieces. So that's what's going on in Florida right now. Now, I've got a few updates for you guys today's show. And then we're going to get into some footage from the Ozark Honey Milk Ranch. I wanted to share with you my spider plants that the neighbor came and gave to me. Also, my master bedroom tongue and groove ceiling. Also did some pruning, some blackberry bush pruning. I'll show you how to do that. And did some arcade basketball. I want to show you guys that as well. Let's get into some of these headlines first. There's some crazy stuff going on in the world. Look at this. Remember this young man who shot through the door as they were trying to bust down his door? Two criminals trying to do, who knows what these criminals were after. Well, here's the interview. I wanted to show you guys this interview. These are the gunshots through the door. Apparently, a couple of these gunshots came from outside. Now, here's the weird thing. In the video, you do not hear the criminals shooting back. There's something missing in this story. I can't quite put my finger on it, pun intended. But we will get into this and try to break this down and understand what exactly is happening here and what the real story is to all this. Now, this young man claims that he didn't know the perpetrators, and who knows if he did or didn't. Let's take a look here and see what's going on with this story about what happened here.
Him at all. He's just trying to break into my house. So I just did my best intentions to try to protect my family. Well, I was just sitting on the couch playing a game, and I heard someone knocking on the door, and I had to check the peephole, and I saw it was someone I didn't know.
So here's the footage. Here's the criminal.
Got up, went to the went to my closet, and I answered and just told him, hey, what's up? Basically, how can I help you?
Can I help you? Oh yes, they came to check your air filters. I'm not sure. This is 38277.
So this guy was posing as a kind of maintenance worker.
Telling me that he was maintenance and he needed to come check my air filter. But I knew it was a lie because last time we had tried to get our maintenance to get our air filter changed, they told me they couldn't do anything about it. So I guess you could say he tried to play the part, but he lied twice whenever he talked to me. He told me someone came to check the air filter earlier, and then he had said, "Oh no, I'm here to check your air filter." So I felt suspicious about it anyways. Plus he had on it looked like a tracksuit. He had on blue sweatpants with the black shoes and I think it was a blue sweatshirt. And then he had the bandana on, but he was playing the part. He had the whole notepad and everything. He was trying to even went to the back door or the.
Now, obviously, this guy's probably still in shock. I mean, here he had these criminals trying to overtake his house. Let's keep watching.
People in front of us to act like he's gonna check their air filter too, but basically told him no one's home. He got to come another day. He just told me, all right. I closed my phone, came back to play the game. And then
at this point, what are you thinking is going on?
I wasn't thinking anything. I was just like, oh, well, I guess someone just wanted to get something or just, I don't know, just maintenance, I guess.
No. Yeah, we're checking the air filters.
Oh, nobody's home right now. You'll have to wait till another day.
Now, that was a mistake, saying that nobody was home, because that told the criminals that they had free reign to enter the house.
Oh, much appreciated.
It's almost like these guys were fishing to see who was home and who wasn't. And maybe when they knocked on this door, nobody answered. They figured nobody was home either. And this looks like a pretty, like, you know, I wouldn't say isolated, but maybe on this particular floor. And they're like, oh, we're just going to take out this place and maybe take out the place across the way from this place.
And then 3 minutes later, while I'm playing the game, I hear a loud ass bang at the door, and then I'm thinking someone's trying to knock, but no, I hear another bang and then another bang, and then I just spazzed. I couldn't think properly. I was like, whoa, he's trying to get into my house. My brother was in the restroom, so I had to hurry up and get up, go run to him and quietly and try to hurry up and tell him, hey, someone's in the house. We need to do something. So in that moment, I tried to hurry up and I guess you could say find my firearm, and it was far away, so I had to like hurry up, scurry, and go grab my gun, come back, and I positioned myself by my couch and my hallway facing directly at the door. And I was gonna wait till he came in, but whenever I checked my Ring camera, I saw he was kicking the door and he had a firearm in his hand, so I wasn't gonna let nothing happen to either me or my brother. So what I guess you could say, I did what my best intentions thought, and I fired at the door and hoping I hit him, and when I guess you say, sure enough, he left down the stairs, and that's basically everything. Had to call the cops and wait for them to show up.
So this is the guy trying to kick down the door. Now this is why I don't understand. You can't hear any gunshots coming from the criminal. Then he tells his friend to give it a try. This is weird, right? Why is the criminal still holding on to this paper? This notepad? Like, wouldn't you just drop that at that point? Now, maybe we should put this in slow motion to see if we can hear the gunshots coming from the criminal's gun. Because if you look at the shots in the door, they're definitely pointing the right direction, right? You know what a gunshot looks like when it comes through a door. It's either going one direction or the other, correct? Let's put this in slow motion and see if we can't isolate these gunshots, because otherwise there's something else going on here, isn't there? Okay, there we saw it. I'm going to turn the sound down here. There you saw the flash, the muzzle flash from the criminal's gun. So you do see it here. Let's play it back. Watch closely. You'll see the muzzle flash from the criminal's gun. Move the screen over here so you guys can see this. It didn't look like 2 rounds went off, but watch closely. Watch his gun. Keep your eye on the criminal's gun. Boom. There was 1. Maybe it shot twice really fast. He probably just started. It was like a reflex. Now, these guys are crazy because they could have like shot each other. Look at the chaos going on with this. Just the pure chaos of it. He could have accidentally shot his criminal friend by accident. I mean, this is crazy. Let's keep watching here.
Looking at the video, they fired back, but I'm not too sure. I know he fired back, but I don't know when. I just know. I'm wondering why the hell he's trying to get in my house. This is a random ass encounter. He just coming at the door acting like he's maintenance, and I don't know him at all. He's just trying to break into my house. So I just did my best intentions to try to protect my family.
What did you think when you watched that video back?
I was hoping I got him. That's mainly everything. I was just hoping I got him. Then again, I wasn't trying to have anything bad fall on me, because I realized looking back at the video, I hit my neighbor's house and I wasn't trying to, but luckily and thank God they left 20 minutes before anything happened. So they're perfectly fine. I haven't got a chance to speak with them yet because no one's been home and we haven't been home anyways. I wouldn't doubt if, they don't want to talk to me or anything, because I wouldn't doubt if they do feel some type of way about it. And it wasn't my intention to try to shoot their house.
You're like fairly calm, all things considered.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think it's funny? I mean, what do you make of it?
I don't know what to think. I can't even think properly now. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't fully processed everything yet. I'm just waiting, I guess.
Police have not found these folks yet.
Yeah, not to my knowledge.
They have not.
Now, this guy should be in protective custody. The brazen act of someone trying to kick down your door, organized gang members. Obviously, this isn't their first show, right? This is something they probably do very often. They probably go around to apartment complexes and perpetrate these kinds of crimes. This guy should be in protective custody, or at least there should be, someone outside watching, sitting in the parking lot to see if these guys try to come back and finish the job. Obviously, he's a witness. Now, of course, the criminal's on camera, but maybe there might be retribution for this. Because these gang members, it's all about pride, right? It's all about pride. And so they just got their pride hurt. They're not going to let this guy get off scot-free. And the fact that the police just pretty much treat the homeowner like the criminal is very sad. And this is the shape of things to come. The police don't want you defending yourself. Even though, in my opinion, police, look, if this kind of stuff is still going on, there shouldn't be speeding tickets for driving 10 miles over the speed limit. There shouldn't be parking tickets and petty jaywalking tickets while this stuff is going on. Now, if they were to fix those things in society and they didn't exist anymore, then you might make an argument for trying to keep the safety of people driving down the highway. But you got to look at priorities. And if this stuff is still going on, home invasion robberies, which are actually pretty common, believe it or not, then the cops should be solely focused on eradicating that. That should be their main focus. Identify these people, find them, and when they're caught, put them in jail for the rest of their life. To me, this is attempted murder. Let's keep watching here.
No, they told me they have not.
Okay.
So, if in the off chance the people who did this happen to see our report tonight, what would you want to say to them?
You're dumb as for not wearing a mask, because I even got your name. Ever since the video's been public, I got a name and everything. I'm just waiting on the detective to call me. And
now this guy's acting brave, but he doesn't know what he's up against. As I said, some of these crime syndicates are organized. They might want to erase this guy or make an example out of him. And the police need to protect him. They need to be outside of his apartment complex and maybe monitor the cameras going in and out to make sure these people don't come back.
And hopefully, and wondering, we also have a GoFundMe, and I'm wondering if anybody could try to, I guess you could say, help us out. We're literally struggling in this bad time, and just everything. I can say after this happened, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. There we go.
And that's the story here, isn't it? That's the story. People in America, the working poor, barely making ends meet, working full-time. Now, I don't know for a fact this guy is working full-time, but many of you who do work full-time still have to live in conditions like this, where there's armed robbers walking around, or you have to live in substandard living conditions. And so that is the true story here. Why is it we live in supposedly the greatest country in the world, and working class people have to live in dangerous conditions? Now, obviously, people who don't work, that's what they kind of get, right? That's where you're going to live. But for the people that do, there's plenty of us out there, you guys, many of you included, who have to work, spend your entire day working, and you still can only afford this. And I think that's the true story here. Now, I watch another YouTube channel called Dan Shikos, and he lives in Russia. And he reports his daily life in Russia and his experience with his family. And it got to a certain point in his broadcast yesterday, and he started talking about his YouTube income. And the sad thing was that his Patreon account was inaccessible by him in Russia. We live in a world, you guys, where it's going to be about your income. This is how they control people, the economic system of tyranny. Literally, he has to go to another country to get access to his money that people who follow his channel send to him to support his family. How is that fair? Now, even here in America, that we've heard and seen this happen to even YouTube channels in America. They simply freeze your account. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. But this is the world that we live in now. Now, let's get into some of these other headlines. Another boy dies suddenly. 13-year-old boy faints during football practice and dies at the hospital, Texas officials say. Let's read this. Now, I left a comment down here, and we can only say so much on YouTube, right? But suffice it to say, all I said was, another one dies suddenly, and out came the bots and trolls. Full force attack. Saying that, oh, aneurysms are common. I looked up the statistics, and yes, aneurysms are common, but not in children. It's very, very rare. But the fact that they even tried to counter what they thought was an inference in the comment that I made, which it was, but they didn't know that. And the fact that they tried to counter that with faulty statistics to make everyone else in the comments think that, oh, aneurysms are common, no big deal. They are common, but not in children. It's actually very, very rare. That tells you that they are trying to control the narrative. Let's just read about what happened to this boy. 13-year-old boy died after suffering a medical emergency during a middle school football practice. Julio Oliveira, student at Carroll Middle School, died Friday, August 25th, a day after fainting during a morning practice. Doctors determined Julio had a brain aneurysm. So, again, cardiovascular and neurological symptoms. There were no prior warnings or signs. This was Dallas. What's going on in Dallas? We've got children passing out and dying. We've got people trying to break down people's doors and rob them. Guns popping off. A woman who taught Julio's younger sister said Julio and his family moved to South Lake from Brazil. The teacher called Julio a sweet big brother. Fantastic and caring person and great soccer player. Unbelievable. So, I'll put links to all these stories in the pinned comment. Now, I'm sure you guys have heard about mud races. Now, I was never a big fan of this. I've never even tried something like this, and I'm not criticizing people that do. But apparently now, basically mud races are a toned down version of mud wrestling, essentially, is what they kind of resemble to me. Everyone, wrestling around in the mud, doing some kind of challenge. But look at this. Apparently, at this particular mud race, a bunch of people broke out in these rashes. This is disgusting. It looks like Mudpox. Now, they call this particular race a Tough Mudder race. California, of course, California, right? California health officials have issued an advisory after several people who participated in a Tough Mudder race last week got sick. Nearly 24 people who ran in the Tough Mudder Challenge at Sonoma Raceway on August 19th and 20th developed rashes with fever and muscle pain, nausea, vomiting, myalgias, headache. These symptoms could be indicative of a minor illness called swimmer's itch. But they also indicate a staph infection or other more serious bacterial infection, such as Aeromonas. Look at this, it's disgusting. Now, are you guys all thinking what I'm thinking? 22 people got these rashes. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Let's see who is thinking what I'm thinking about where this is coming from. Now, I read down in the comments section, and the comments are hilarious. Some people are like, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. We're going to read some of the comments here. But what comes to mind in my mind, think about it. It's California, right? What comes to mind is autoimmune or a reduced immune system. Obviously, people have been doing mud races for 20 years now. 20, 30 years this was popular. And now all of a sudden people are breaking out. It's their immune systems. Now, I can't tell you what I think the cause of that is, but you guys are smart and can connect the dots. Wow. So, it's happening. The grievous sores talked about in the Bible. Now, I want to give you guys a follow-up on yesterday's show. Remember, we were talking about who cloned Tyrone. Now, there were some interesting theories in the comment section. I want to name some of those theories. One particular individual started talking about that maybe it's not cloning of individuals, but maybe it's the twin spirits. It's the demonic possession. Now, we've touched on that subject before. Two spirits in the same body, a clone spirit. And I would not discount that theory. I'm open to hearing every kind of opinion on what the actual phenomenon is, you guys. There are no right or wrong answers here. We're simply having a discussion and looking at the evidence and trying to all figure this out together. Okay, so don't get upset at me if you think, oh, Casey believes in this and that. Look, there are no hard edges here. We're just all trying to figure this out. So I welcome your opinions. Just be nice about it. And then we can all talk about it. Because if you're not nice, then I can't deal with that kind of energy. Okay. But let's go back to yesterday's show. They cloned Tyrone. And remember, we saw the zigzag in the ceiling. Remember that? Let's see if I've got it pulled up here. Here it is. Here's the zigzag in the ceiling. And so I looked up zigzag in Wikipedia because I thought, well, maybe there's some clues to all this. Well, you're not going to believe this. The zigzag in Wikipedia is described as a sawtooth. Now, the reason why I couldn't believe this is because we've talked about the sawtooth, haven't we? We were looking at the sawtooth of the shearing machine that shears the sheep. It's called a willowing machine. The sawtooth. Wow. The shearing of the sheep, coming back full circle. Now, what's also mentioned here is that the zigzag is a serpentine shape. It's basically a serpentine shape with hard edges, is what it is. Also known as a sine wave. Or maybe we can call it a sin wave. Right? Because the sin is the serpent, isn't it? And this is probably why it was depicted in the ceiling in the movie They Cloned Tyrone. Now, of course, this zigzag shape is also a DNA pattern, isn't it? Which would fit perfectly into the context of They Cloned Tyrone, because cloning is about DNA. Now, many of you will also remember the garden spider, the X spider that manifested in my doorway and then mysteriously disappeared 24 hours later. Just before I decoded They Cloned Tyrone and we saw the same zigzag pattern. And so I looked a little bit deeper into this garden spider because I wanted to know what this was about. And I found some pretty interesting stuff. This garden spider, here it is right here, Argiope aurantia is the name of the spider. Some theories say that this spider makes this zigzag shape to reflect ultraviolet light to attract insects. The shape is actually called a stabilimentum. Stabilimentum is the name of this shape. And they actually believe that it possibly reflects UV light to attract insects. Which, of course, would fit right into the UV light in the cloning center of They Cloned Tyrone. Unbelievable. Direct connection. Now, let's keep looking at this, because I looked at some more images of this garden spider. Now, these are different garden spiders from around the world. This particular one is from Australia. It's called the Argiope etherea, and it builds an X-shaped decoration. Here's another one that builds a spiral zigzag. You guys, this is about portals, isn't it? Spiral and X portals. Now, there are other theories about this, that the reason why the spider builds these webs is either to make itself look bigger, or it's a pattern that breaks up the silhouette of the web so that people don't walk into it or large predators don't basically destroy the web, because it takes a lot of energy for the spider to create the web. So by creating these little patterns, it's like a little clue, a visual clue, so that predators don't walk through the web, right? Now, I forgot to show you guys this story. A parasite found in a woman's brain. Look at this. This is disgusting. They literally pulled this worm out of her brain. It was 3 inches long while they're doing brain surgery. Look at this thing. Now, what makes this story interesting is that this brain parasite is not supposed to be able to live in humans. Again, this was in Australia. Let's read this. A neurosurgeon investigating a woman's mystery symptoms in an Australian hospital says she plucked a wriggling worm from the patient's brain. She was performing a biopsy through a hole in the 64-year-old patient's skull at Canberra Hospital when she used forceps to pull out the parasite, which measured 8 centimeters 3 inches. They were in shock. They couldn't believe it. The neurosurgeon had never even seen anything like this before. The creature was the larva of an Australian native roundworm, not previously known to be a human parasite. Now, they figured out that this parasite was inside of carpet pythons. And that this particular woman would go out into the field and collect, I think, some greens, they said down here. Let's go down here. She would go out and collect greens. And apparently these carpet pythons, their droppings would have the worms and the eggs in it. And it would contaminate the grass that was eaten by her. Yeah, it says here, the woman lives near a carpet python habitat and forages for native vegetation called warrigal greens to cook. So apparently she might have got it on her hands, which entered her mouth and then her brain. This is disgusting. So always wash your hands. You never know what kind of parasites there are cruising around out there. Now let me check back in with you guys. Good morning, everybody. Now, I wanted to share with you guys some updates on the Honey Milk Ranch. Many of you have been asking. Apologies, I haven't been on the ranch too much and filming, but I did a walkabout, so I wanted to show you guys that today. Make sure the volume's up for this. You guys can hear this. Good. Okay, let's take a look. I want to give you an update on the ceiling. This is the master bedroom. As you can see, I've got everything cleared out so that the contractor could try to finish up the ceiling. So he's getting close to being done. That up there is the smoke detector. I'm waiting to put those in till I absolutely have to, because as soon as you turn them on, the batteries run out and they start chirping, and it's really annoying. So there, as you can see, there's lots of little things I still need to get done with the property, but slowly but surely, all this stuff costs money and it's expensive. And so I'm just slowly getting everything done. It could take another year before it's all done, but it's livable, you know, and I'm not complaining. But yeah, Scott came over and put more of the ceiling in. Still a little bit left to do. One of these lights was flickering a bit, so I had to replace the box. Each of these little lights has like a box behind it, and there was something faulty in the box, so I had to fix that. I was able to do that myself. So I'm learning a lot with this whole process. I think I could probably build a house on my own after observing all of this happening over the last 4 years. Let's keep watching here. So this is the master. I'm very happy with it. The panels, or the tongue and groove, are slightly different style, but they seem to work okay. I mean, it looks fine. That right there is the beam, a piece of a beam, and look at how beautiful this is. And I'm going to have him put that up here, and it's going to connect from here to there. It's just going to be like a short beam, just a little accent piece. He'll pop that in. So that beam was just what was left over from the long beam he made in the living room. And so I was like, oh, we can use that. Let's just put that little piece in my master bedroom. So that's the update on that. It's going down. Just thought I'd do a general update video for you guys. What is going on out here? What's new? Oh, let me show you the spider plants. Now, a neighbor gave me these spider plants literally like 3 weeks ago. And now there's all these spider manifestations, aren't there? So that was kind of interesting. Let's watch here. And think about it. these spider plants basically clone each other. How weird is that? God is amazing, isn't he? Let's listen to what I'm saying here. Look at these beautiful spider plants. So, I've got soil. Gotta water them, it's already dry. Probably water these every single day. Let's water them. Go into my kitchen slash I like the fact that these plants provide some greenery, because I got a lot of brown, don't I? Not a lot of green. Might have to rename this Brown Town. I've never been good at colors. I don't know how to explain that to you guys. Some of you probably have the same issue. Colors intimidate me because when I try to pair colors, it just never looks right. I don't know why that is, but to me, colors, they don't match well when I'm trying to match them. So browns are safe, black is safe, gray is safe. Sometimes I'll throw a little red or green in there, but yeah. Whoa. Here, get these plants watered. Oh, they look pretty good. They're surviving, right? There's a hummingbird. You hear them? Oh, woo, woo, woo. These plants watered. It's supposed to only be 80 in the 80s today. That's a good number because it's been hot. Hope these make it. Probably not a good idea to put these on top of an electric box, but we'll figure something out. Oh boy. I have some frogs living in here. I see them hopping around on the deck, which is, to me, is just hilarious. Oh boy. Probably not a good place for these to be. Right on top of the electric box. Well, I think that's a waterproof electric box though, so I don't think we're gonna have a problem. But still a little unnerving. Yeah, I have frogs that live in here. It's really weird. Anyway, let's put that away for now. Alright. What I wanted to show you guys is the pruning I did out here on the blackberries. Now, I realized something. I can't eat blackberries anymore. They were my favorite fruit. Well, let me give the caveat. I can eat blackberries, but I can only eat the juice from them. I can't eat the seeds because the seeds cause me gastrointestinal distress. So I have to basically suck the juice out of it and spit the seeds out, which is not a problem. But I did some pruning here on the peach tree. I pruned around the... Whoa, what was that? Sure, some kind of animal over here. As you can see, I pruned the peach tree. Maybe that will help it fill out and produce flowers next year. I think this tree is going to provide us some peaches next year. Really excited about that. I also thinned out these blackberries. As you can see, I removed all the dead blackberries underneath, as you can see, and I thinned them out so that even the new cane that's coming up, you don't want them too close together. Oh boy, I think those are cicadas. You've got a cicada bloom. What a neat sound. So as you can see, it's all been thinned out. You remove the smaller stalks, the ones that aren't as full and prominent, and you leave the more prominent stalks, and that will give you a better success rate and increase the fruit yield for next year. So I'm really excited to see what these cane are going to do next year. Hopefully they survive. As you can see, I've also distributed some of them here on the fence. That way they spread out so I can come up and just pick berries. This one's thornless, as you can see. Thornless. Awesome. Thanks, Rose. Rose gave me these. They're doing quite well. She'll be happy to see those. Thornless one coming from over there, and a thornless one coming from here. And again, there used to be a second one next to it that produced fruit this year, and they die off, and then the new cane starts growing out. That's how it works. So you remove all the ones that have already died off, which is what I just did. I already did that. There's my drip system. Good, it's working. Everything's looking pretty good. Oh, this, I also finally got this one pruned. As you can see, I took off the dead sticks, so now the peach tree will continue to thrive, hopefully. I guess those things are in the trees. Sounds like they're in the trees. Wow, what a beautiful day. Just evened out. Always stuff to do, huh? Okay, now eventually I'm going to put soil on top of there, but this is just all rotting out. Eventually I'll probably just order a bunch of bags of topsoil to put in here, right on top of here. As you can see, everything's starting to get broken down. These will be my beds, the beds of the future. We'll see. Now, I have an admission to make. Sawing lumber, or sawing logs with a chainsaw is not as easy as you think. When this wood gets old, what ends up happening is essentially the logs get very, very hard. So hard that you can't even saw through them with a chainsaw. So there's a window of opportunity that you have to get your wood cut up with oak anyways. It gets so hard that you're just going to dull your chains, and I went through like 4 chains. So I'm a little upset about that. But there are people with bigger, much bigger chainsaws that can come up here and cut this stuff up. So I might have to just pay someone to do it. I don't want to spend $1,000 on a chainsaw. I'd rather just pay someone $200 or $300, come out here, cut all this up, and stack it. They could just stack it anywhere. Stack it up against that tree. Then I'll have firewood ready to go. Look at all that wood over there. I have logs everywhere. They need to be cut up. And I don't have the chainsaw power to get it done, so I'm gonna have to probably hire someone to do that. So this is where most of my wood is. I do have some back here. I have all this back here that can all be cut up for firewood, and my chainsaw just didn't cut it. And let me show you what I got done with my chainsaw. I got that pile. Weak, right?
Look at this little pile I got done. That was it. It was like
10 or 20 cuts, and just, I was like, I'm outmatched here. Lame. And I got this pile. And that was it. That's all I got done, you guys. And then I was doled out, changed 3 chains, and that was the end of it. Now, what are we dealing with? This little Oregon electric saw. So, I mean, it's an 18-inch saw. It's either 16 or 18. I don't know what the problem is, but gosh, these little hornet things, they like to come in here and put mud inside these, every little hole you can see. Every little hole, they'll put mud in there. Sometimes they destroy things. Now, I wanted to show you this beautiful wood. Now, my friend Mike planed this for me. He came over, he bought a planer. We planed this. This is red oak from the property. Look at this wood. My gosh. From some of those trees. We planed it, and then I took a roller and rolled on tung oil. So these are going to become the window trim and closet trim for the master bedroom. I'm going to use this for the trim in the master bedroom. The rest of the house is going to be cedar. Let me show you that. These are the cedar planks I was telling you guys I just picked up. See if this door's open. Nope. Here comes a neighbor. Oh, that's Mike. It's Mike too. I literally have 10 friends named Mike in a 5-mile radius. So I just named them by number. Mike 1, Mike 2. So this is the cedar trim for the windows, doors, and the baseboards. So lumber is expensive. This pile of lumber right here, which I have basically in here to acclimate to the house, this little pile of lumber right here was 500 bucks. Can you believe that? But that's just how much it costs. Now, I could have gone with different trim products, but they're all about the same. This is 50 8-foot boards. So this is actually a downgrade, because normally when you get window trim, window and door trim, it's, you know, it's molded in certain shape, it's painted with primer, and that stuff's even more expensive than this. So I thought, I'll just do cedar boards and save some money. This is only about half as much as I actually need to do the whole house too. So I'm gonna have to at some point end up spending another 500 bucks to get the rest of this pile, and then of course labor to put it in. 50 of them. So what is that? 10 bucks a board, roughly. That's just what it costs. Alright, you guys, it's time for the basketball challenge. Let's see if I could limit out on the score here. Alright, here we go, you guys. Let's go with 60 seconds. Do 75 seconds. Whoa! I'm off to a bad start. Come on. Oh boy.
I'm losing balls. Yeah, I did it. 100 points with 2 seconds to spare.
Look how these 3 balls landed in a perfect row right here on the ground. You can't make that up, you guys. That's just nuts. So anyway, do that 3 times in a row, and there's all your cardio for the day. So I don't know why that's so fun, but it just is. And it's even more fun when you have a competitor and it's like 1v1 player, 1v1 or whatever. So anyway, I thought I'd share that with you guys for those of you that are interested. Let me go back into the chat. That's the update on the Honey Milk Ranch. Oh boy, that's fun. So I finally got that set up because I got a lot of the, things are just starting to come together. The projects are getting finished. The ceiling inside the living room obviously is done. So I was able to get my basketball set up, which I really need because sometimes I get into these decodes and I don't have as much physical activity. So it's good to just take a break. And like I said, tried to do that 3 times in a row, and there's your cardio for the day. Anyway, let's go into the chat here, see what you guys are up to. So what do you guys think about all of this? What do you think about the Honey Milk Ranch? What do you think about some of the headlines we covered today? And of course, the hurricane. I'll probably tune into the hurricane coverage after I get off of here today just to see the damage and everything that's going on over there. Yeah, Joy, right? Nothing but net. Yeah, the thing talks back to you as you're making the baskets. It's just kind of cool and fun. Anyway, I bought this basketball set for $100. I think I got it on Amazon. I mean, what a deal, right? It reminds me of like a punching bag, right? A relatively inexpensive piece of sports workout equipment that it's just so much fun. So yeah, it was a lot of bricks. Yeah, I normally, now I did limit out because once you reach 99 it tops out. So in 75 seconds I got 100 points. But normally I can make those 20 in a row, but I get stage fright, camera shy, whatever you want to call it. I can't play the guitar as well, I can't play basketball as well. So it is what it is. All right. Yeah, making progress. Krista has a court by her house. That's cool. It's not a proper form shot either. Okay. Casey Cheese. Where a grown man could be a kid. Funny. All right, you guys. I love you guys, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'm going to tune in to Ryan Hall. Great channel. He's probably still live. And I know you guys are probably anxious to get back to that as well, so I'm not going to keep you too long today. Thanks for showing up. Please thumbs up this show, please. Take care, everyone.